24F. Keep crying because my partner, 24M, hurts my feelings with his actions and behavior. 24F. Have been with my future husband, 24M, for almost 3 years. I say future because we will get married soon. He's the first person I've been with while he was very promiscuous in the past, although this doesn't matter because he has changed. I live in Spain and he lives in the US, so the time difference limits our communication. I feel hurt and unloved most of the time. We saw each other last summer and lived in his house for 2 months. He lives with his parents. We had been together for 2 years when I visited him, and not gonna lie, I was expecting so much and got very disappointed. His stamina was very low. He said it was because of his leg pain at the time. I felt rejected, and that shattered my confidence to the point I can't have orgasms because of my constant overthinking. I had that problem even before we saw each other, but ever since I have been faking them because I don't want to ruin his moment. We didn't travel nor visit the places we had always been fantasizing about. I thought that in person he would be more romantic and loving, like he would say, go on dates and love each other. He always said he would give me the world, he would do anything to make me happy. We only went on one date that I suggested and organized, and when I saw his lack of interest I refused to go and fought. He then convinced me to go, but deep down I was so disappointed. I kept thinking why other people always go on dates and have fun without having to ask for it. I had cried so much that day in secret. Well, I cried a lot in secret. It's very sad, it shouldn't feel like this. I have questioned myself several times, but I put so much effort. I take interest in the things he likes. I ask about his life per day. He does that, but maybe 20% of the time. I won't go into details, but I have always been the one sending letters, packages and gifts. The only package he sent me was made by his mom, and most of the stuff in it was from her. I feel like I have done so much. He has had some legal problems that I won't mention, and I never judged him and stayed by his side. He had a shit job and stopped his studies for it and stayed with him. He was in a dark place and I made sure he was okay. The irony is that months after, I would be the one suffering from depression and stress, and he wanted to break up with me because I was too much. Of course, I was the one who begged him not to. I keep expecting he'll say sorry when he hurts me, or he'll say something romantic, or he'll take me on a date, or give me flowers. It just doesn't happen even if I give hints. Shouldn't he do that automatically? I feel so unappreciated and unloved. This year has been tough because he had to go for boot camps and training for the military, and we almost couldn't talk because they take their phones. He's not as sweet, nor romantic, and when he's always busy. I'm okay with that last one, but only if he expressed how much he misses me and appreciates me. Maybe say that he's sorry and he will make up for it. I expect these things because that's what I do. I empathize with him and make sure that he's still my #1 priority. I see these couples where the man treats his girl like a queen. I want that. That's why I waited all these years for the right person. I'm not asking for a lot. Unless you're willing to leave the relationship, then you'll spend the rest of your life miserable. It's your choice. Leave or choose to be miserable. This is who he is, and he's already shown you it doesn't get better. 24F. Have been with my future husband, 24M, for almost 3 years. I say future because we will get married soon. He's the first person I've been with while he was very promiscuous in the past, although this doesn't matter because he has changed. I live in Spain and he lives in the US, so the time difference limits our communication. I feel hurt and unloved most of the time. You already feel hurt and unloved in this relationship. Why do you think getting married will change that? It won't. Please do not get legally tied to this person. You wrote important reasons to end it. What makes you want to keep this relationship and marry? Why are you ignoring the problems? You are 24. You should not be getting married. You definitely shouldn't be getting married to this person. I only know your side of the story, but you obviously are not for each other. Throw the whole man out. He will never treat you like girls in the couples you see. Stop making him your priority. End the relationship and find a man who wants to treat you the way you deserve to be treated. You will find him, but not until you get rid of the broken one you already have. 24F. Turn down my partner's, 27M, proposal and IDK. What to do now? 25F. Am in a polyamorous relationship with my partner, 32M, and have been for 4 years. I am currently not seeing anybody else, but he has 3 other partners. I am not his nesting partner or his primary. He was over at my apartment the other day and proposed to me while we were watching my favorite movie, The Princess Bride, at the part where Westley reveals himself to Buttercup. I was shocked when he bought a ring that matched my aesthetic. However, the first thing that ran through my mind was how his other partners would feel, seeing as he's been seeing me for the shortest period of time. I love him so much, and I know he loves me, but I know that one of his other partners is expecting a proposal at some point, as she had told me how their 10-year anniversary is coming up and how he was probably going to propose. We play the same video games and have become friends. He told me I was his princess, that we had so much in common, that not only was I very important to him, not only was I his best friend, but that he wanted to take our relationship to the point of legalizing it. It was adorable, amazing, and the proposal I had dreamed of since high school. But I said no. I knew his partner wanted to marry him just as much if not more, than I did. And, to me, it felt selfish accepting his proposal, knowing how much his marrying her meant to his other partner. I explained all this to him, that I wanted to marry him, but I couldn't in good conscience do so when I knew how much she wanted to marry him. He looked at me, devastated, said okay, got up and left my apartment. He hasn't texted me since, and this happened yesterday. I feel hurt, I feel sad, and I have no clue what I can do about it. Have I lost my partner? Did I ruin my relationship with him? I need help, please. He doesn't sound like a very good partner. You're not his primary, nesting partner, yet you're the one he wants to legally cleave to? In what world is that sensible? I've never done poly, but if I were to do so and I was living with someone who decided to legally marry someone else, I would honestly just end things because it feels like they're deliberately trying to cause problems. Obviously it's possible that he doesn't understand what marriage is from a legal perspective, but equally at his age he should. Inconceivable. How the hell does this guy have time for 4 serious relationships? Facepalm. How does a man have time for 4 partners? Does he not work? You can't be seeing him more than 1 or 2 nights a week. What kind of marriage would that be? It sounds awfully lonely. My 23 male girlfriend, 23 female, hit our dog out of anger. My girlfriend has a habit of completely losing it when she's angry. It reached a breaking point 5 months ago when I gave her an ultimatum: either she goes to therapy or we're done. Her anger issues are severe and out of control. She breaks things, insults everyone in sight, and makes irreparable harm. Similar to my ultimatum, her workplace gave her the same warning. She did go to a therapist and took responsibility for her issues, and promised to make improvements. I told her I support her and I was happy with her progress for a while. It didn't take long before she relapsed. Something happened with her family that made her angry. She didn't explain things in an adequate way, but instead just kept screaming and cursing at her family. Normally when this happens I try to avoid saying literally anything because everything I could say would inevitably make her angrier. This time she kicked our dog as she passed by him. It was a very strong kick, mind you. I was shocked, so I took the dog away and told her to shut the fuck up because she took things too far. I checked on the dog with a vet. Thankfully he wasn't harmed. I hate this. The first major issue happens to her after promising to improve. She shows no improvement. Hitting my dog is another level and adds another layer to her issues. She says she's sorry and she was just angry, but IDK if I can tolerate this. Obviously the dog can't be alone with her, but overall I'm sick of dealing with this. She cried, stressed that it's just one angry moment. Does she deserve another second chance? Absolutely no fucking way does she deserve another chance. A dog is as vulnerable as a baby. They cannot speak, they cannot defend themselves, they are literally the easiest creatures to abuse. You've said it yourself that she cannot be left alone with the dog. So what happens when, if you have a baby with her, you clearly cannot leave a baby around her either. Sack this nutcase off and take the dog with you. Now. I will tell you from experience that any person who will strike a pet in anger is entirely capable of hitting a child or shaking a baby, and many times will. Sure, it probably was stress, but that's when people usually abuse pets, babies, children, and their partner. I probably wouldn't give her a second chance. If you're inclined to do it, maybe reinforce that a shared pet is a test run for parenting and that she just showed she's willing and able to shake your baby to death or permanent brain damage, and that she's on her last chance to show she can control herself. And then stick to that if she loses it again. Next time she may kill the dog, but don't worry, she was just angry and we'll work on it. Dude, run far as possible and block her everywhere. From personal experience, these people never change no matter how many years and how many times they get court-ordered to anger management therapist. She is abusive. Leave her. You deserve to lose your dog if you keep it around someone that has been physically abusive to it. You are enabling the abuse of an individual who trusts you to protect it. Absolutely disgusting, and if I knew who either of you were I would have you both charged with animal abuse and neglect. Absolutely abhorrent that you are even asking and didn't immediately get the dog to a safe place. I, 29 male, was violated, and my wife, 28 female, doesn't believe me and thinks I was cheating. I, 29 male, have been married to my wife, 28, for 3 years. We have a very good relationship, and I wouldn't have ever even thought of cheating on her. We were even in the process of trying for a baby. About 2 weeks ago, I went out to a bachelor party. I was blackout drunk, to the point I was escorted out of the club, and I did cocaine with my buddy, dumb I know. Basically I don't remember anything towards the end of the night. My wife gets sent this video from a girlfriend of one of the guys who was at the party, of me sitting on the bench and a woman grinding on me. I'm not reacting to it, but I don't stop her. I have no memory of it, or even that girl, no clue who she was. I'm disgusted by it. I tried explaining that to my wife but she didn't believe me and said I cheated on her. She started crying and didn't want me to touch her. I told her to remember how I was when I got home, and to ask anyone there how trashed I was, but she didn't care and left for her sister's for 2 days. She came back and still is being cold with me, won't let me touch her. We've only kissed 2-3 times in these couple weeks. My wife is my world. I'd never do anything to jeopardize our marriage. I don't know why our friend's girlfriend sent my wife that video. I told her I wouldn't go out without her again, and I told her how ashamed I was and how I felt violated. She said I was just making excuses for cheating. I tell her to ask others there, but she refuses. I think she might be saying these things out of hurt, but I can't lose her. I'm so afraid. Advice? Looks to me you got thrown under the bus. These folks are not your friends. I personally avoid bachelor parties just to avoid any doubts from my spouse. Here's the thing. You did do something to jeopardize your marriage. You willingly went out, drank and did drugs to the point of being blacked out. Did you cheat? Only you and your friends know that. Stop doing drugs, kid. The fact that you got so drunk and high to the point of not remembering anything is the problem. She can't trust you when you do that. You have to never do it again and earn her trust back. Also, don't make excuses for what you did. That is not going to make her trust you more. Focus on apologizing and saying you understand that what you did is wrong and you will never ever do it again. By grinding, do you mean on your lap and everyone was clothed, or was it sex?